Hello everybody, this is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Today I am going to make a bow to go on top of a Christmas tree. Now when making a bow for a Christmas tree, really it's all about your preference. It's about how big is your tree, how narrow is your tree, all those things play a part into how large you're going to make your bow. So when making a bow, if I am going to see this Christmas tree all the way around from both sides of the tree, I like to do two bows instead of just one. Now the reason I like to make two bows is because when you put a bow on top of a present, you don't necessarily see all the loops. But if you'll tilt that bow, this is the front of the bow, you'll see it better than if it's sitting right up on top of that tree. So if I am going to see the tree on both sides, I am going to back two bows back to back, and that way it's pretty all the way around, okay? Now, what I like to do is, this is a plaid ribbon. I like to make a center loop in my bow when it's going to go on top of a Christmas tree. So I take my ribbon, I'm just holding it right here at the tip, and I'm going to roll it. So I've rolled the ribbon just like that. It's just a little roll. I'm going to gather that ribbon and hold it under my thumb and my pointer finger just like that. I'm going to make a twist. Now if it's pretty on both sides, you don't necessarily have to make a twist. I've just always made a twist, so I'm going to twist the ribbon. I'm going to take it and make a loop. Now this loop is I would say about 4 inches. And I try to eyeball both sides to make sure that the loops stay the same. I am the world's worst to make some loops bigger than the other, so just practice. And that's all it's going to take, is just some practice. So there's my first loop, and I twist, and then I'm going to make a second loop. So I've got one loop on each side, just like that. Now I'm going to do 5 loops on each side, so it's going to make it a pretty full bow. I'm going to twist and make a loop, catch it with that forefinger, twist, make a loop, catch it, twist, a loop, twist, a loop. Now, if it gets to where it's too much for you to hold, you can certainly tie it off and then keep making the bow. Usually about 5 loops is never too much for you to necessarily hold, but it's just going to take practice. So you keep making those loops until you get your bow as large as you want it, okay? So I have 5 loops on each side. So it's a 10 loop bow with a center loop with a loop in the center, just to cover up my wire, okay? So how I like to do my tails, now it depends on, this is all preference too. Do you want your tails to be really long, or do you want them short? Now, how I like to make tails on a bow is I like to take that ribbon, and so it's hooked here, that's where my last twist was. I'm taking a long loop just like this. I'm gathering that up underneath my pointer finger. So there's gonna be my tails. And then I'm gonna take my scissors and cut it here. So there's my tails there. I'm gonna take my wire and I'm running it through that center loop, and I'm gonna place it right up underneath my thumb, okay? And then I'm going to bend my wires down. And I've got those wires sticking between these 2 fingers here, okay? I'm gonna take my pointer finger on my right hand, and I'm gonna twist it really, really, really tight, okay? The tighter you twist it, the less likely your bow is going to be to fall apart. Now to fluff my bow, I always like to hold that wire still with my thumb and my forefinger, okay? And then I'm gonna take each loop and I am just going to pull them from side to side to fluff that bow. Now the reason I'm holding that wire is because it's really easy, if you don't get that wire tight, for you to pull those loops loose. Okay, so there's my fluffed bow. Just like that. Now I'm going to take this tail, this long loop that I left, I'm going to take that and I'm going to dovetail it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that ribbon and I'm going to fold it in half, just like that. So you see where I kind of folded it in half. I'm going to take my scissors and I am going to, up towards the tip, I made a cut, and so I made a dovetail. Now dovetails just look pretty. You do not have to dovetail it if you don't want to, but it kind of gives it that pretty finish on the bottom of a ribbon. Now to add more tails on the bottom, if you have an artificial tree, what you're going to do is take your ribbon and roll out as long of tails as you would like. So I'll roll it out just as long as you would like the tails to be. Cut it. Now, if you're going to use an artificial tree, like I always use, I just take that ribbon and gather it at that top, and I am just going to take a branch from the Christmas tree and I'm going to just pinch it right up underneath my bow. Now what that's going to do is it's going to give me some long tails to add to the tree. Now to store this ribbon, I always pull this ribbon off my tree and I just roll it up and I stick it in my storage box with all of my ornaments. That way I have this ribbon left over that I am able to use on my tree. It's safe, it stays pretty, and I can pull it out and use it again next year. So I just like to take it and put it in a roll and just tuck that right over in my ornament box. You can even, because it's wired, you can even kind of flatten it out and then it's not going to come unrolled. And with your bow, if you will lay this, I always have room on the top of my boxes. I just lay that bow right on top of my box. If it gets squashed, you never have any problems because this ribbon is wired and it'll fluff right back up. You should not have any problems whatsoever. Guys, I hope this helps. If you have any questions about how to make a bow or any kind of decorations, please let me know. I would love to answer any questions you might have. You always remember, when putting a bow on top, the bow can be your topper, or you can add branches or whatever. Just make it your own, and happy decorating, guys.